You got them worried, bro. You got them worried. Could you imagine spending the time out of your day to be concerned about another human being's progression in their life? Oh my God. Look what they're doing. Oh my God. Look what they're doing. Oh my God. Could you imagine being that person that's just quaking in their boots, terrified of what you're going to become? You got your haters worried, bro.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rekakodashe. Much mercy to you sincere brothers out there, the true house of David, and all you believers out there. Shalom to all you false prophets and all you haters out there that hate God, that hate what's good, and you love what's evil, because a lot of you are of the flesh. Basically, I just want to go over a couple of things real quick. Yahweh Shai, going back in those times, he actually had those scribes and the Pharisees. He had their ass actually worried back in them times because of what he was teaching. And only thing they were worried about was their place being taken, those high seas being taken away from them. So I want to read a couple things real quick. So you got to understand that's what's happening now. They were worried about Yahweh Shai and what he was doing. So I want to read a couple things real quick. John 11, one of my favorite stories in there. But I'm going to just go through a couple of things, because Yahweh Shai is the resurrection, like he told Martha. So now on this third day, because this is the third day, you brothers got to understand, this is the third day. Esau, he's played with the times to make it seem like it's the second day or 2000. This is actually the third day, the 3000th day. I think you go to what's that? I think it's Daniel. In the book of Daniel, it says he seeks to change the laws and the time. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. Yeah, this is gonna be real quick, man. I just had this on my mind. I was trying to not do it now, but something just made me do it right now. The Lord say, do this right now. So you go to Daniel. What's that? I think it's 7. Where he seek to change the laws and the times of the devil. He changed the times, and he has changed the laws in this time. That's why everything is screwed up, because of what this devil has done. Yeah, here it is right here. Daniel 7:25 real quick. I just want to read this because we're in the third day. First Peter's tell you, I think it's or in Second Peter tell you that one day to the Lord is 1,000 years. So when you go back to Genesis, the Lord created the world in 6,000 years, and he rests on the seventh day, on the 7,000 year. So basically, what the world is not billions and billions of years old. I don't want to get off the subject, but when you understand what this devil have done, he have changed the laws and he have changed the times. So this is the 3,000th day. Now, why I'm saying this is because You got to understand that this is the third day where we were going to be raised up. The Lord said, I'll raise you up in that last day. Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. He shall wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and laws. You see? And they shall be given unto his hand unto a time and a dividing of time. So the devil have changed laws. He have changed the times. Hosea 6:2. After 2 days he will revive us, and in the third day he shall rise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Right. So this goes with Jeremiah real quick. 31. When he raises us up, we're going to be living in his sight. This is what Jeremiah said, Jeremiah 31 and 33. And this goes back unto Yahushua. Jeremiah 31 and 33, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. For these days, not for everybody, saith the Lord. I will put my laws in their inward parts, and I will write them in their heart, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. What did the Lord say in Hosea 6? Because everybody's not of God. The Lord said in Matthew 24 that it was going to be many false prophets. Many. Hosea 6:2 again. After 2 days he will revive us, and in the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. So we are living through the Lord in his sight. But it seems like we're dead to the world. It seems like we are dead to the world, but the world just doesn't regard, just like they didn't regard the Lord. The Lord made the world, but the world didn't know the Lord. So it's actually heavy. It's heavy for you to make a world, and the world doesn't even know you made the world. It doesn't even accept you, man. It's really heavy to think about that. John 3, I think. The world didn't know the Lord. The brother brought it out yesterday, but he made the world. So on his third day, he will rise us up. So we're being raised up. And just like the Lord said, I will raise you up in the last day. Just like he raised up Lazarus. So we're being raised up. Not to the world and shit. You see? It's heavy, man. It is heavy. Okay, let me read this. Matthew 11:5. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk, and the lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached unto them. Matthew 17:23. And they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again. You see that? So this is the third day, and we're being raised in the spirit. Now when you go back to John 11 real quick, Yahushua explains to Martha that he is the resurrection. You know, I've read this before, but as we get closer and closer, these scriptures are just speaking more louder. Now, when the Lord was raising people up from the dead, he didn't get any fame. Well, they knew that he was doing that, but he wasn't like of the world. He didn't get any fame for that. They hated him. Now, John 11:20, then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Yahushua, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not been dead. Right, so you had women in the scriptures, but the Lord wasn't dealing with these women like that. They just loved the Lord. You see, you got guys, all they want to do is deal with women that say they believe in the word. And the Lord wasn't doing that type of shit. So you got to understand, we're in a very corrupt time right now. This new covenant and the word is just strict. Just like you have pastors in the world in these camps, their whole thing is to try to deal with the women that say they believe. Yahushua wasn't doing that. They weren't going around dealing with women of the church. Just a side note. Just a fucking side note, because the word of the Lord and the women, they believed in the Lord, bro. It was just about believing and healing them. And they understood who the Lord was. So the Lord wasn't on that. That's why you have to be of God and really understand this thing. It says, then said Martha unto Yahushua, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. On another note, too, a lot of these women that say they believe in the Lord, or say they in the truth, or whatever they may say, these are like some of the worst ones. Dealing in this time. You see? So a woman of God, you could meet a woman of God. They could be out there anywhere, man. But a lot of these women that say that they believe in the Lord, a lot of these women ain't fucking right. You just have to be careful, because the way the Lord walked, the Lord wasn't walking to fulfill his flesh like that, especially dealing with the church and shit like that. He was doing what the Lord sent him to do, and he got out of here in his 3 years. Now, is it wrong to deal with women? No, it's not. But at the same time, Yahushua was on a tip to where when he came, his thing was about doing the Lord's business. When you actually find out what you really have to do, you have to keep on to the mission and fulfill what the Lord have you fulfill to do without any fucking distractions. It says, then Martha said unto Yahushua, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, will give it to thee. Then Yahushua said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection in the last day. Now check this out. And Yahushua said unto her, see, they knew of Yahushua. See, you do have women that really believe. That's why them believing they just need to be at that. The Lord wasn't trying to deal with them like that. The Lord said you should be as your master. We should be like Yahushua. We have to walk like Yahushua. The men of the Lord, they're going to walk like the Lord, bro. It's not about fulfilling your lust. It's about fulfilling the spirit. It's about fulfilling the prophecies of the Lord. It's about fulfilling the scriptures in this time. The same way the Lord fulfilled the scriptures back then, you have to fulfill them like that now. And leave that shit separate. So check this out. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Let me read that again. And Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. And he that believeth in me, though he Though he were dead, yet shall he live. So the Lord said that he is the resurrection. Now let me go into that word resurrection. I think we went into it before plenty of times. We went into this word resurrection, but I'm gonna go into it right now because what's heavy is that not everybody's really being raised up like that. All right. A lot of guys being raised up to be condemned. I mean, a lot of guys being exalted to be condemned. So this word resurrection right there in that scripture, real quick.
Strong's G 386. Anastasis.
Right. It says a raising up, a raising from the dead. That of the anointed, that of all men at the end of this present age. Check this out. The resurrection of certain ones, history, who were restored to life. The resurrection of certain ones. Right, you have certain men that were set up to be raised up in this time. That's why everybody don't have the new heart. So how are you going to be raised up? Or if you have that new heart, the Lord is raising you up. These are the ones that the Lord made a covenant with, the election. That's why Peter said, to the elect scattered abroad. The majority of people, they're heathens. Now, the scribes and the Pharisees in that chapter, they were Israelites. They were Pharisees that were sitting on high seats, just like today. You got a lot of guys that are corrupt, and they don't want to see the ones of God actually raised up. This is what you got to really understand, because the ones of God are only certain ones. Let me read that again. The resurrection of certain ones. It says history, who are restored to life. So that means like we're coming back to life like we were, because the new covenant went out back in the times when the Lord was on the scene. He came back, and that's when the word went out into our hearts back in those times. And a lot of the men of the Lord that received the Spirit, a lot of them had died and they was martyred, but they received the Spirit. They had to pay the price, the same price as Yahushua. That's why the Lord said in the second death, you'll overcome that second death in the second time. So certain ones will overcome that certain death. That's why the 144,000, they'll be sealed from Satan. They'll be sealed for salvation. Certain ones. Not dudes of the world, not guys of the world, not guys of the flesh. You see, you got to understand what's actually going on. Well, we're finding out that a lot of guys are of the world, and they're not the certain ones that's actually being raised up. So it all goes together. When you deal with when the Lord came back those 3 days after he went on the cross, that Spirit went out. And so you go to the book of Acts and what they were doing. They were healing. They were raising men up. They were healing. They were raising men. The Lord, they were healing and preaching Yahushua. That's all they was teaching. And I'm gonna go into the book of Acts a little later, because all they were doing was teaching Yahushua in the book of Acts. That's all they were teaching. They weren't teaching Esau, because the prophets already prophesied those prophecies. So what you have today is guys that are not of the Lord. They're teaching the Bible, but they're not really putting the Lord in there, because they're not the ones of the certain ones that were supposed to be raised up. So the Lord told Mary that he is the resurrection. And the scribes and the Pharisees, they was upset about that. John 11:25, and Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life, and he that believed in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? Heavy, bro. So I want to skip down to this real quick. I can't read all of it. I'll probably read this again another time, but I just wanted to get these few points. John 11:47, then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees and council. So the new covenant is here. It's just in certain ones. Heavy, man. Then gathered the chief priests and the council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. And if we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place in the nation. So many men, they have a place in the world. That's why they say the new covenant ain't here. That's why they say the new covenant demon. That's why they say the Lord's bringing another covenant, because certain guys have a place with this world. All right. A lot of guys have a place with this world. Even guys in the new covenant, they got a place in the world. So the ones that's really of God, it's only certain ones in this last time. And I'll speak with you brothers a little bit later. The new covenant is here only in certain ones. Hey, with that, hey, shalom.